It's sad. We live in a world where we'd rather pay somebody to tell us a beautiful lie than get the truth for free. Tonight's video is dedicated to a man who gave out a lot of truths. Or was he just a man scorned? You make the call.
I'm asking about ranking, and what's the problem with ranking women?
I think I do agree that we rank everything in life. Women, I wouldn't say that we rank. I would use a different word. I think we categorize men, which may be a type of ranking. But so when you say ranking, are you referring to you're comparing them?
Yes.
To each other or just to your standard?
Yeah. No, you see, you're 32.
Mm-hmm.
You've been married?
No.
Any children?
Not yet.
Well, when a man asks you to go out, you decide what man you give your information to and what man you don't give your information to. That's a ranking. How tall are you?
5'5".
5'5". Do you care if a man is only 5'6"? You date him? That's a ranking. The pause is a ranking. Yeah, see, y'all got no problems with ranking men. If a man was working and making $15 an hour, would you marry him if you were there for the rest of your life? If that's all he was gonna make, $15. $37,000 is what the median income for a man in this country was. You'd be happily married to him and submit to him for a lifetime?
If he's married to me, that's gonna change. So
No. I said he's just an average man. See, y'all all think y'all have the power. No. See, y'all all think y'all have the power of Thanos to make be not what it is. I said if a man was just an average earning man. See, the fact that you can't even.
I can't. You're right. I can't live off that because.
Sure you can.
If anything were to happen to me, and if he would have to take care of everything, I wouldn't be able to sustain. Like I would have to.
What do you mean you couldn't sustain? I mean, there are half the country's doing that.
I mean, like I would have to change some things. If we were living just off his income, I would have to change a lot.
Did you go to college?
I did.
Did your mother go to college?
She didn't.
Your father go to college? Did your father go to college?
He has a trade.
So your mother and father didn't go to college. They made you. And it's funny that the very people who come from nothing got so high of a standard for the next group of men.
Alright, before we get into this video, I want to thank everybody that's watching the video, sharing, and also leaving comments. I really appreciate that. And before we get into this video, if you can smash that like button, leave a comment, and also don't forget to share this video. Kevin Samuels, was he a man scorned or was he a truth teller? I gotta be honest here, I'm a little bit biased to Kevin Samuels, but not for the obvious reasons that people may think. Not simply because he's a man and I'm a man and I agree with that premise. I dig and relate to him because I can honor and respect anybody who has the boldness and the courage to tell their truth as they know it, especially when it goes against what's deemed politically correct in today's society. See, whether you agree with Kevin Samuels or not, he not only had the courage to go on his platform and tell his truth, but several other platforms and tell the same truth, even though his opinions and views would not be widely accepted by plenty of the women that he gave them to. In order to analyze whether or not we are dealing with a truth teller, we have to examine him based on a list of criteria that I happen to have here. Let's see if he meets them. The first criteria is consistency. Yeah, I said it, consistency. See, one thing I can truly appreciate about Kevin Samuels is his consistency across the board. You see, even though Kevin Samuels faced constant criticism for his views and stance on black women, he never relented and he never backed down. He wasn't concerned about the cancel culture that we live in, where saying what you feel can get you out of here real quick. He spoke the truth as he saw it. Now, one might say that it was because his core group of followers were males and his platform was driven by toxic masculinity. But would that statement be totally true though? See, I always saw women on his platform, and it was their own decision to put themselves in a position to be evaluated by this man. But we gonna get into that later. And furthermore, you never saw Kevin Samuels open up his platform for a group of males to come on there and validate any of his points. See, he didn't have to pander to men or ask men to validate whether what he was saying was true. He spoke the truth from a male's perspective, and most importantly, his perspectives from his observations and his experience from a quote unquote high value man perspective. So to me, he checks box one, consistency, which leads me to my next point, validation. See, more times than often, when a person is speaking the truth, they don't need anybody to validate them. They don't need anybody to back them up. They don't got to put it on God, they mama, or nothing else, because they speaking the truth. And facts are facts. It's just like in the Bible, when Moses went to the Pharaoh, and Pharaoh asked you, what God sent you? God told Abraham to say, I am, giving him the power to speak anything in his authority. See, when you speak in truth, you don't need anybody to come and certify what you said or put a stamp on it. You don't have to say, as such and such, because you speaking the truth. Most truth speakers don't need validation. Neither do they call somebody in to speak on their behalf for them. Like it or not, Kevin Samuels was a man's man. That simply means he could say what he wants without fear of consequences. When a man is free to speak his mind, he is truly a man indeed. A lot of people didn't like to hear some of his truths. But how many people really like to hear the truth anyway? I mean, think about it. We live in a society that's more in touch with their feelings, more in touch with their sensitive side. And as we get more increasingly in touch with our sensitive sides and our feelings and our emotion, we like people to make us feel good. So even if we're a little bit overweight, we'd rather you say it looks like we've lost weight, even though we've gained 10 pounds. We want you to say, your outfit looks good on you, instead of saying, man, take that back to the store. You feel me? And if you say a lot of people would much rather prefer the truth than a lie, we wouldn't have so many beautiful lies being told every day. The truth is hard to hear sometimes. Why? Because it hurts. But remember this quote from me. Hurt comes before healing. See, many of us never graduate to our next levels in life because we're afraid to face the hurt and the truth. So we walk around this life as damaged goods for somebody else to deal with. Facts. Another box that needs to be checked if you're a truth teller is whether or not the truth teller is speaking facts or not. Well, let's see if Kevin Samuels spoke facts.
There's not many options. That's another thing.
Oh, there are plenty of options. 51% of black men are single and childless. 64% in the middle class. See, what if they're not?
But a lot of them are ugly.
No. First off, check that. Because you start that, I'm gonna get real raw with you.
But
I'm gonna get real raw with you. Check that. Because I have not made any presumptions about looks or anything with you, so I'm not going to insult men.
You can't. I look a mess now, but I don't think I have to settle with a man that I don't find
Okay, let's do it. What would you rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? Just your face. You cannot use 7.
A 10.
Oh, poor baby. Now let's try this again.
So
You are not the most beautiful woman in the world. Cosmopolitan ain't trying to get you to be on the cover. People ain't deemed you one of the most beautiful women in the world. First thing you came out of your mouth, you said you're a 10, and you're not a 10.
My face is not a 10. I don't have no makeup on, and my hair is not done, and this is all real hair.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
I think I'm definitely a 10.
Cool. I bet you do.
See, the word facts can be debatable. You see, because what could be considered facts for one person could be considered unfactual and untrue to another person depending on the circumstance. But for the sake of argument, let's go with what we know. Now, who did Kevin Samuels target? Black women mostly. I wonder why. Because most of his life as a black man has probably been spent dating black women. And in that field of experience, he's probably had a lot of experience dealing with black women. No doubt he may have had women family members as well. You got to take that into accountability. So it's safe to say that most of the things he was saying was based off not only experience, but he had a lot of knowledge as far as statistics and things like that. So a lot of things he did speak was facts. He usually didn't deal with women as a whole, but mostly black women. And he spoke about observations and experiences that he knows to be true in his life. So is that facts to him? I believe so. Now, earlier I told you I would get back to the point about the women wanting and choosing to be evaluated by this man, choosing to be a part of his platform, and I'm back. Another key checkpoint on this road to find out whether Kevin Samuels was a truth teller was whether or not people had respect for what he said. You see, respect is key, because without respect, do people really value what you have to say? Respect is big on whether or not this man was a truth teller, or anyone else for that matter. If you're a truth teller, people really respect what you have to say. And I'm gonna go ahead and check that box for him for several reasons. Let me list them. Obviously, women respected him because, see, when we view somebody as insignificant or foolish, our natural instinct is to ignore them or chump them off. Or at the very least, we don't really pay attention to what they gotta say. When we view a person as full of crap, we really tune out quickly as human beings. But Kevin Samuels' numbers alone prove that people valued his opinions and views. Why else would countless numbers of women openly subject themselves on his platform, period? Sure, you always got those who thinking they're wise enough to get on there to argue and debate with him and make him look like a fool or stupid. But really, who ended up always looking stupid by the end of the conversation? More times than not, it was the women. And there's two very simple explanations for why the woman was in a lose-lose situation when she debated Kevin Samuels. One, because they battled him on his home turf. It was his platform. It was his territory where he could control the narrative. Man, that's rule number one. You never go to somebody else's house and start a fight. My daddy told me that. My granddaddy and them told me that. You know why? Because you don't know what they got on their land. You don't know the lay of the land. They can have tricks and traps and everything set up wherever, and you would fall right into them. So the number one reason why they would always look like a fool when they battled Kevin Samuels is they didn't have their facts together and they went to his house to fight. The number two reason is because if you notice Kevin Samuels, he hardly ever got emotionally upset. And most of the women would get angry or upset or in their feelings or in their emotions and get befuddled and confused. See, when they got emotional, they became irrational. And when they became irrational, they began to speak out of character. And when they got out of character, they really validated his views and made his case for him. See, this reminds me of Daniel in the Bible. See, if you know about the prophet Daniel in the Bible, a lot of people didn't like him. And the reason they didn't like Daniel was for one simple reason. See, Daniel spoke the truth. Whether it was good or it was bad, he never said anything to tickle your ears or to please you. Daniel only spoke the truth when it came straight from God. He didn't care about your feelings. He didn't care how it was going to make you look. If you asked Daniel what did God think about a situation, he was going to give you the live, straightforward, direct answer. Pure and uncut, straight off the heavenly presses. And some of those kings and people in leadership could not stand to hear from Daniel, but they respected him, much like Kevin Samuels. Sometimes people do not like you, but if you're a truth teller, they have no choice but to respect you. See, the truth doesn't need you to like it. It doesn't desire or yearn for you to coddle it or give it a hug. The truth is the truth. It cuts, but it heals as well. And it's the beginning process of a person getting better. And if I have to say, if Kevin Samuels checks that box, yeah, he checks that box. Because whether or not people liked him or not, they had to respect his truth. So to sum it all up, Kevin Samuels was a truth teller. Well, am I saying he was perfect? No, he wasn't perfect. But who is? Regardless of if you feel he was a man scorned or however you feel about him on a personal note. The truth is the truth no matter who says it. The truth is the only thing that I know that can affect people as much as it did. Because people don't respond to lies. When it begins to bother a person, it's because they truly have that seed in them, or there's something to them of that magnitude. You can't affect me by saying a lie to me. But if you tell me something true about me, it might burn me to my core. So with that being said, much respect to Kevin Samuels. Let that man rest in peace. Y'all be good.